Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video lecture, we are going to look at some new questions from the second chapter of Keith Williams' performance book. The name of the chapter is Airfield. So we are going to solve all the questions from this chapter to Airfield. I guess there are some 50-60 questions. We are going to look at all of them, solve them, understand the concepts. In my previous lectures, I solved all the questions from chapter 1 of this book called chapter 1 called atmosphere. Over there, we solved questions like calculating pressure altitude, density altitude. We saw different types of air speeds and how they change in different atmospheric layers like isothermal, inversion, normal ISA conditions. So we are going to do new questions today. I hope you have watched those previous lectures, chapter one lectures. If you haven't done that, I have already uploaded them to my channel in a specific playlist called Keith Williams Performance Playlist. So you will find all those lectures in a sequence in that playlist. So do watch them. So now let's begin with question number one from this chapter. Maximum allowable clearway length is limited by what? 50% of takeoff distance available, 50% takeoff run available, minimum acceptable load bearing strength, 150% of stop weight. So, clear way, they are talking about clear way length. Okay, so they are talking about clear way length. So, look at this. So, what is clear way? First things first. So, a clear way is defined as an area beyond the runway, okay, not less than 500 feet wide, centrally located above the extended center line of the runway, above which no obstacles penetrate or protrude. Okay, so that is your clear way. So, look at these pictures. So, over here, you have a runway. At the end of the runway, you will have a stopway on the surface, on the ground surface, where if any aeroplane decides to abort its takeoff run, it can end up stopping or decelerating aircraft in this space called stopway. It has specific material which can hold aircraft in place. Okay, so that is the advantage of stopway. And then at the end of takeoff run, just like stopway, we also have a clear way, which coincides with stopway, and most of it, which coincides with the stopway most of the times. Other times, it can also extend beyond the stopway, like here. So this clear way you can see it's aligned with the runway center line, and it's wider than the width of the runway. Okay. So similarly here we have the runway, we have the stopway, and then beyond the stopway we have clear way, and this clear way is inclusive of stopway in it. Okay. So runway length is starting from here to this point. So the runway that is available for use. Okay. After that, we have clear way over here. It's stopway is not represented, clear way is represented. That's fine. So the length of the clear way is half of the runway. So that means what should be the maximum length of the clear way? Maximum length of the clear way here. It should be half half of the takeoff run. Okay, takeoff run available. Clear way should be must be half of takeoff run available. The takeoff distance available for aircraft to make its complete takeoff run, okay, which is needed to achieve lift-off speed, rotation lift-off speed, right? So that is called takeoff run, okay. So maximum allowable clearway length is limited by 50% of takeoff distance available, 50% of takeoff run available, minimum acceptable load 150. So option Bravo is the right option. So clearway will be maximum length of the clearway is half of the takeoff run available. The runway length available for making the takeoff run. Okay. Now minimum acceptable load bearing strength. Clearway does not. It's not the job of the clearway to stop your aircraft. It's the job of the stopway. It's the job of the stopway to stop your aircraft in its place once it decides to abort its takeoff run. So clearway doesn't have that job. It's not the responsibility of the clearway to stop aircraft in place. So clearway need not have any load bearing capacity or load bearing strength. Stopway must be very strong in order to hold all types of aircraft, light, medium, heavy, in one place. But clearway does not need that. Doesn't need to meet that condition. So Charlie is wrong, Delta wrong, and Alpha wrong. Okay. Next, maximum allowable stopway length is limited by. Now, in this question, in the previous question, we looked at the maximum length of clearway. In this question, they have asked about maximum stopway length. Now, maximum stopway length is 50% of takeoff distance available, 50% of takeoff run available, minimum acceptable load bearing strength, 50% of runway. So, answer is option Charlie. Like I said, the job of the stopway. Look, a stopway is an area beyond the takeoff runway which is able to support aircraft during an abandoned takeoff or aborted takeoff without causing structural damage to aircraft. Cannot be used in takeoff computation. So stopway cannot be used for calculating takeoff distances. Okay. The only reason we have stopways at large airports is that it is made with a material that holds aircraft in place. It prevents aircraft from overshooting the runway and colliding with human settlements existing beyond the airport. Okay, outside the airport. So that is the main job. So stopway length. So maximum stopway can be as long as runway or whatever. The only one condition that limits the stopway length is it should be very strong. Okay. So if minimum acceptable load bearing strength, it should meet the minimum criterion of load bearing strength. If it's not able to meet that criterion, so the stopway length will be limited. Okay, will be stopped there. So option Charlie. Okay, if stopway is able to achieve that load bearing strength for a very long distance, you can build that stopway for that much distance. But if it can't achieve, or if adequate material is not available for building a long stopway, so stopway length will be reduced or decreased. Next, option correction. Question 3. Stopway slope must be what? Now we all know that all runways have some slope, up slope, little bit up slope, down slope. Okay, runways are not always flat. Okay, so stopway. So what should be the slope of a stopway? Should it be equal to the runway slope? If runway has an upslope, should stopway also have an upslope? Or should it have a downslope opposite to that of the runway slope? What is the rule? So the rule is stopway slope must be as same as the runway or within 0.5% or 30 meters. Okay, not beyond that. So it should be as same as the runway, or if it's not possible to have the stopway slope as same as the runway, it should not exceed 0.5% of the runway slope or 30-meter of the runway slope, whichever is the lesser. Not more than 125% wrong, less than that of runway, more than that of runway wrong. Next. So runway declared distance is very important for your CPL, airline and ATPL, even for your Vivas. So remember, takeoff run available is calculated even before your threshold starts, pre-threshold area. So that is the takeoff run available. But landing distance available will be calculated from the start of the threshold, not from pre-threshold area. Accelerate stop distance again starts from the place where you start your takeoff up to stop way, and takeoff distance available is from the start of the takeoff run available up to the end of the clear way. Okay, so this diagram, you must draw this diagram, you must label this diagram. You should be able to draw this diagram in your SPL Viva exams, ATPL Viva, airline interviews. Stopway semi width must be what? Okay, so stopway width at least 150% of the runway, at least 95 meter, at least 60 meter, at least the same as the runway. So option delta is the right one. So the width of this stopway must be as same as possible, same as the width of the runway, as much as it is possible. Okay. Next. A balanced field is one where. Now, what is a balanced field? A balanced field is one field where there are two conditions. The first one, stopway, the length of the stopway is equal to the clearway. Second, there is no stopway at the airport. There is no clearway as well. So no stopway, no clearway. If there is a stopway and a clearway, both are equal in lengths. Okay, so that is such a field will be called a balanced field. So it is one where accelerated stop distance available equals to emergency distance available. Accelerated stop distance available equals to takeoff run available. Accelerated stop distance available equals to takeoff distance available. Accelerated stop distance available equals to LORR. So this example, this is your runway, this is the stopway, and then you have clearway which includes stopway and this extra portion of the land. So in this example, stopway and clearway are not the same. Clearway is bigger than the stopway. But if, let's consider this example, this is your runway, this much. Okay, this is the center line of that runway. Now we'll draw a stopway. This is the stopway, let's say. Clearway, in order for the field to be balanced, stopway must be equal to clearway. So we'll draw a clearway now. So clearway will also coincide with the stopway like this. Okay, so this is clearway. So now the field will be called balanced field. Okay, so now this is takeoff run available. This much is takeoff run available. Now what is accelerate stop distance available? It is takeoff run available plus stopway, right? And what is takeoff distance available? It is takeoff run available plus clear way. Correct? Now in this case, clear way equals to stopway. So, so I can write accelerate stop distance available equals to takeoff run available plus in place of stopway I can write clear way. So let's do that. And I will repeat this here. Takeoff distance available equals to takeoff run available plus clear way. Now right sides are equal. Takeoff run available plus clear way. Takeoff run available plus clear way. If right sides are equal, left sides will automatically get equaled. Therefore, accelerate stop distance available equals to takeoff distance available. So the correct answer will be option Charlie. Now, accelerate stop distance and emergency distance available are the same things. Okay, next. Maximum takeoff distance available is equal to 150% of takeoff run available, 125% of takeoff run available from brake release point to the first obstacle, emergency distance available. So they are talking about maximum takeoff distance available, the maximum limit which is going to remain fixed. Option Charlie is the right one. Statement is right, but this is not the answer to the question asked. The meaning of this statement is brake release point. From the point aircraft releases its brakes to continue to start its takeoff run up to the point it reaches its first obstacle in the clear way. So this will be called takeoff distance available. Just the takeoff distance available, not maximum takeoff distance available. Maximum takeoff distance available will be equal to 150% of takeoff run available. How? Now we saw this in the previous question, in one of the previous questions, where we saw that the maximum length of clearway cannot exceed 50% of runway length, right? It should be maximum length is 50% of takeoff run or the runway length. It cannot be more than half the runway length, right? So so that means So takeoff distance available, which is nothing but takeoff run available plus clear way. Now what is takeoff run available is this. Clear way cannot exceed 50% of, so what we have, so let's say takeoff run available equals to x. So x plus 50% of x equals to takeoff distance available. Okay. So takeoff distance available will be equal to x plus x plus 50% of x. So 100x plus 50x divided by 100. So that is 150x divided by 100. So takeoff distance available is nothing but equal to 150% is nothing but 150 divided by 100. So 150% of x. What is x? 150% of x is takeoff run available. So therefore takeoff distance available, maximum takeoff distance available will be equal to 150% of takeoff run available. So option, this is the proof, 150% of takeoff run available. Next, maximum takeoff distance available again is equal to 150% of emergency distance available, meaning 150% of accelerate stop distance available, 125% of takeoff run available from the point at which takeoff starts to the first obstacle in the direction of takeoff, accelerate stop distance available. So the correct answer here will be option Charlie. We know maximum TODA, that is takeoff distance available, is 150% of takeoff run available, not accelerate distance available, takeoff run available. So therefore option alpha is wrong because of this part. Option Bravo is wrong because of the first part, 125%. It's not 125, it's 150%. And the last one, obviously takeoff distance available and accelerate stop distance available are different things, so they cannot be equal. So we are left with option Charlie. From the point of brake release to the point you encounter the first obstacle in the clearway area. A. Okay, so this is the picture. Clearway, a defined area prepared for an aeroplane so that it may make a portion of its initial climb to a specific height. To a specific height. So you can see there is a clear way which is inclined like this. Okay. If this is your runway, so clear way is inclined. Okay, at a slope of 1.25 percentage. At a slope of 1.25 percentage. Okay. Next. Minimum width at the ends of the clear way must be what? So let's look at one diagram. Minimum width. So the width of the clear way. Now for stopway, the width should be as same as the runway. If this is your runway, so stopway should also, the width of the stopway should also be equal to that, more or less. But the width of the clearway can be more than runway width. Okay, it can be more than that. So the values are, you will have to remember these values, 150 meter and 180 meter. Okay, so minimum width at the ends of the clearway must be 150 meter and 180 meter. Let's say this is your runway. So clearway can be between 150 meter, say this is 150 meter, so it can extend up to 180 meter. So 150 meter, 180 meter, right? So option alpha. Question number 9. TODA, takeoff distance available, is takeoff run plus clear way, takeoff run minus clear way, takeoff run plus stop way, takeoff run minus stop way. So it's takeoff run, TODA, takeoff run available plus the clear way, takeoff run plus stop way, that is TODA plus stop way, equals to accelerate stop distance available. So next. A field is unbalanced. Now, what is a balanced field? A balanced field is one. We just saw it before. A balanced field is one where stop way will be equal to clear way. The lengths of stop way and clear way are equal. Second condition. Otherwise, if not this, then there is neither stop way nor clear way on the airport. Now, what will be an unbalanced field? Unbalanced field will be the opposite of a balanced field, where stop way length and clear way length is different. Correct. So there is no clear way or stop way, wrong. Absence of clear way or unavailability of clear way and stop way makes a field balanced, not unbalanced. It makes it balanced. The clear way length is equal to that of the stop way. Again, this will make your field balanced. The stop way is longer than the clear way. Yes. So when the distances or the lengths of stop way and clear way are different, we call the field or label the field as unbalanced. So over here, stop way is longer than clear way. Okay. Delta is wrong because clear way is harder than the stop way. So this is not the criterion that we use to determine whether the field is unbalanced or balanced. Okay. So the load bearing capacity or the strength bearing capacity is not the controlling factor or determining factor in checking whether a field is balanced or unbalanced. So delta is irrelevant. Apart from that, a clear way need not be harder than the stop way. It's the function of the stop way to stop aircraft in a position, but it's not the work or job of clear way to stop aircraft should it abort its takeoff run. Okay, so clear way most of the times, majority of the times, will never be harder than the stop way. Stop way's job is to be harder than the clear way because it has that job of decelerating aircraft and holding its position. So this concludes our lecture. I hope you have understood all the 10 questions I have solved in this video lecture. Most of all the questions are theoretical, so it's very important that you know that you are well aware of the definitions. You are able to draw the diagrams, the pictorial representations of that things. Okay, and you remember the facts, the features, characteristics associated with stop way, clear way, and the distances. So practice this 10 questions again, and in my next video lecture, I will solve the next 10 questions. So don't miss that video lecture. See you.